Boom. We are 8 seconds away. What's good, y'all? Tuesday, 8 o'clock. DJ King 1989 is the man. What's up? Let's go. Supreme Divine. Welcome to the DJ Kenny Parker Show. Oh, let me cut this off. Why do I have mail on here? Hold on. Yeah. I was thinking about switching the name to the Kenny Parker Show. It's kind of extra for me, but maybe. Fluffy Toenails, what's good, Mr. Parker? Last week was dope. Looking forward to the conversation this week. Thank you so much. Yes, last week was super dope. We had my homegirl Heather B on the check-in. She came through here like a whirlwind, like she always do. I just talked to her earlier today, actually. And it's all good. So those that checked out last week, thank you so much. We do this every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. DJ Platform 204. Hey, Kenny, what's up? Mr. Vintage, Mr. Dry. I disagree with that, actually. I really would like Heather left. There was more to the story, but I let Heather just go ahead with her side of the story. But that's actually funny. I mean, I can get a little bit more into studio etiquette if you guys want to, but New Mexico Citizen. Yo, New Mexico Citizen. That's way out there. I'm in the New York area. What's good? Crown Jewels Music Group. Always love. What's good? Bill Shapiro. What's good? Haitian Space Program. That's a dope name. Peace from Chicago. Is it brick out there? That's all I think about in Chicago is freezing, man. Nature, what's up, KP? What's good? Terrell McMillan, welcome back. KP, much love. Green Lion Entertainment, peace, family. A Mitch, peace, DJ KP. Hope all is well. All is well. I had a great week. Rosmel, what's up? Welcome back. William Cooper, that's a dope name for those that know. Peace, peace. Jetta, what up, Kate? What up, Jetta? What's good? Want to check it. Controversial. What's up, Kenny? What's good? Tone 210. What's up? Nate 332X. What's going on, Kenny, from the DMV? From the DMV, what's up? Bill Shapiro, here we grow, y'all. Yeah, we just trying to we don't really have a format on these Tuesdays. We just talk about whatever we want to talk about, hip-hop related. Napoleon Maddox, what up, brother? Always good to see you in the check-in. Let's see. FU2, what up? Yo, what it is? All the regulars are here. Verse Pro, Super Rab, what's up? CC, hey, Kenny. Shadow World LLC, did you hit her off with half of the bread? Not yet. As you know, YouTube pays monthly. So the bread wouldn't probably come till next month this time. Heather tried to strong arm me. Y'all saw that, though? 360 deal. Jeff Worrell, damn, ads are beginning, so I missed the start. Oh, that's what happens. Ads were at the start? Damn. Pablo C. I was just listening to Heather B and MOP, My Kind of Nigga, Forgotten Gems. Yes, thank you so much. We talked about that song last week, me and Heather. That was a great song. Shout out to the Mash Out Posse. And shout out to my girl Fox, too. Thomas O'Kane, what's up? I sent you an IG DM the other day with an idea for a future live chat, and I didn't check it. I will check it after this. Ed Olivier, what's up? Tried to get a shout out last week, but Heather's presence outweighed all. Yes, Heather's presence was dominant. Well, that's good. That's the purpose of the guests. Where they do that at? What's up? Roberto Torres, what's up? Jeff Worrell, big up KP, big up. DJ KD Hover 23, what's up, Kenny? I thought you was going to have the dancers this week. Working on the dancers. Don't sleep. We may have dancers. That would be hilarious. JT, hey, hi, KP. Last week's show was hard to beat. Yes, it was. Having Heather on here was great. Um, we got more guests coming uh, in the coming weeks. I don't want to give it away, but more people will be coming up. I'm going to try to expand this live chat. You know, I started out, as you guys know, I was doing it maybe once a month, and I really enjoyed it. And some people were like, "Yo, you should do it more like every week." So I was like, "Let me try every week." And I really like doing it every week. And you guys come and check me out. You guys are the backbone of this channel. So know that the people who watch this live, I say this every week, the people who watch this live and the people who are going to watch it later on, you guys are the backbone of the channel. And you're the reason why I try to do this every Tuesday. But now I want to expand it because now that, you know, I had Heather on here, I want to bring more guests. Some people I want to have on the channel, but I want to talk to them about specific things. So it's going to be more like a upload. And some people I just want to have on here, like, you know, just come on here and we just kick it for a while. So I'm going to mix it up. But yeah, I want to expand the live because that was fun. Tone 210, peace from San Antonio, Texas. Peace from San Antonio. I was out in San Antonio about 12 years ago. In the summertime, the temperature was 110. Wow. Sincere Mason, peace KP from ATL. You never speak on Sneak Attack, highly underrated album and production. Thank you so much. You're right. I never really speak on Sneak Attack. This channel, I'm still I have so much stuff to talk about from the 90s that I still haven't even got to the 2000s yet. Yeah, but the Sneak Attack album, I'm going to speak on that too. I'm trying to get my recollection. I do believe I did 4 songs on the Sneak Attack album. I'm going to talk about that too at some point. I just have so much to get to, y'all. CC, thank you so much for your contribution to the channel. Really appreciate it. Bill Shapiro, salute. Sugar Daddy 1 Williams, what's good, Kenny? What's good? Dartmouth, Valley Forge, aka Headquarters, Pennsylvania. Valley Forge, that's what they call it? Headquarters, Pennsylvania. Shout out to PA. Paperbag Fan, good evening. How's it going? It's going great. We all here. We're in the building. 8 o'clock. Chris Morale, that is it. The Kenny Parker, what's good? Welcome back. Should I change it to the Kenny Parker show, y'all, or should I keep it DJ Kenny Parker live chat? I'm not really. I always assume that people that come on here don't really know who I am. Some of the people that come on here, because some people still ask, you know, you and KRS look alike. Are y'all related? Like, I get a lot of those questions. So I'm like, you know, a lot of people that come on this channel don't really know. So I try to say Kenny Parker of Boogie Down Productions, even though there hasn't been a Boogie Down production since 1993. But I try to say that to give people some reference. But maybe I would change it to the Kenny Parker show if y'all guys think it sounds better. Crown Jewels Music Group, what up? All good, bro. You need Pip and spin some of ours. Brothers say goodbye will blow you away. Spin some of your music? I'm not sure what that means. Crossfire. Hey, Kenny. Salute from Toronto. Thanks for bringing Heather on last week. Yes, Toronto. Shout out to Canada. Yo, all the shows we've ever did when I was in BDP in Canada was off the chain. Russell Whitley, sup, super producer. I wouldn't call myself a super producer, but thank you so much. FE2, do you listen to Planet Asia? He's top 10 all time. His work is still dope. He has like 30 albums in 25 years. That's amazing. No, I haven't really listened to Planet Asia like that. I'm aware of the name, but I haven't really listened to the music. Die for One CL Crew. Yo, what up, KP? Glad to be here for another quality Q&A. Yes, thank you. If you guys got any questions or anything, let's go. Robbie the Danger. Sorry, not sorry for wilding out last week. Salute. You was wilding out last week? The Stay in New York. Peace. New Mexico City. Kenny has Cat Williams next week. Yo, you know, when they say people broke the internet, and like people say that as like a statement, yo, Cat Williams broke the internet. And I do believe Shannon Sharp got like 80 million views on like a video that was like 2 hours, he probably made like $1 million messing with Cat Williams. And Cat Williams' concert price probably doubled. I wish I did have Cat Williams on here. And Colonel James, what's good? Happy Tuesday, KP and fam. Chad World LLC, so many shout outs this week. Dope stream, keep them coming. Colonel J still riding high off the HB chat. Yeah, Heather was real special on there last week. She brought up some interesting things and exposed some stuff. We talked a lot about the music biz, the studio. If you guys didn't see it, you guys should check that out. Baja Ukweli, excuse me, peace. Crown Music, you're intriguing, KP. We're all the BDP heads always wonder what you like. Now we know you're a real one. Thank you. Peace. Thank you. I respect that. I was around a lot of BDP. I spoke on a lot of BDP songs, not a lot, but a few BDP songs. And I never really wanted to speak on any of those songs. That was my brother Chris egging me on. Say this, say that, get on the record, say this. So red cup, y'all. Yeah, so any of you guys that heard me speak on the records, if you enjoyed it or didn't enjoy it, that was KRS-One's excuse me, that was KRS-One egging me on. Cool Sphere, you had the best production, in my opinion, on Sex and Violence. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I wish I could pin that and send that to Jive Records. Baja Ukweli, speaking of expansion, what topics will you cover coming from the perspective of your career experiences? Well, I'd like, the purpose of this channel is to kind of pull the veil back on the hip hop music business. And really, that's what I really want to do as the weeks progresses, really get in deep, y'all, about what this industry is really like. And I started with my group, which I know the best, BDP, and trying to give you guys a lot of insight and a lot of stories. As a matter of fact, my next video that I'm dropping in the next day or two is another beef video that people didn't know about. So that one is coming in the next couple of days. But yeah, from my perspective, was, you know how they say the man next to the man? I was right there with KRS-One basically for his whole career, even before he was KRS-One, before his name was KRS-One. Obviously because he's my brother, but all through his whole career. And a lot of times I was standing right there for a lot of things. But, you know, when KRS is there, people are so focused on him, they don't even see the other people that's around him. But I was around for a lot of stuff. So my perspective is my firsthand account of watching a lot of things. I'm trying to give you guys the inside scoop of what the music industry really is like, or really was like, is like. Gregory Nettus. Yo, Kenny, what's your first sitcom TV comedy you ever saw? Mine was Different Strokes and Three's Company. And my two favorite sitcom comedy TV shows is Martin and Sanford and Son. The first sitcom I ever saw, that's a good, well, probably like Brady Bunch or something like that. I had to be a very young child. I would say my first recollection of something that I could understand was probably Brady Bunch. Unless you consider Batman a situation comedy, it used to come on every week. Yeah, that was my first. My favorites, I have a lot of favorites over the years, man. And as you mentioned, Three's Company, I actually got to meet Jack Ritter, aka John Ritter, aka Jack Tripper from Three's Company. I actually got to meet him at an Earth Day event, and he was super cool. And he gave me a t-shirt too. And shout out to Martin too. I do believe I met Martin once. I met Martin once at a party. Green Lion Entertainment, Detroit is in the building. Shout out to Detroit. We did a bunch of shows in Detroit in my time too. Them shows were always dope. Robbie the Danger, the Kenny Parker Show. The Kenny Parker Show it should be instead of DJ Kenny Parker. FU2, Best West Coast Rappers, Razkaz. Shout out to Razkaz. He's a cool dude. Taj, Kendrick Lamar, Corrupt. Love Corrupt. Pac Division, Ice Cube. Ice Cube was one of my all-time favorite rappers, probably my top 4. Everlast. Shout out to Everlast. I met him before. Quan Don, Phil the Agony. I'm not familiar with those guys. What's this? DJ KD Hover 23. The Kenny Parker Show would be the perfect name for the show. The Kenny Parker Show. Tone. DJ Kenny Parker. I'm finally off work on time. Thank you for the check-in. Finally off work on time. Thank you. You're a little bit late. It was 16 minutes in, but MM Crossfire. I like the DJ Kenny Parker Show. So it's not the Kenny Parker Show. It's not the DJ Kenny Parker live chat. It's the DJ Kenny Parker Show. That's funny. Maybe that'll go. CC, thank you so much for your contribution. Could you tell us more about the time you met Schoolie D? You mentioned you had met him when I met you at your book talk at the Museum of the City of New York. I met Schoolie D in Philadelphia at a BDP show. This had to be, I think it was Temple University we did the show. I think it was Temple. It had to be like 1992. We did the show. Show was over. I was packing up my equipment. I was one of the last people on stage. I was always the last person to leave the stage because the DJ was always packing up equipment. And this guy walks up to me and said, "Hey, what's up? I'm Schoolie D." Just like that. And I was like, "Yo, Schoolie D, what's good?" And it was real hectic. And he was asking me where my brother was. And I pointed him to the direction of the dressing room. So he kind of took off. So I got to just meet him and say, "What's up?" I didn't really get a chance to sit and kick it with him. That's the only time I remember meeting him. I might have met him a couple of other times, but that's the only time I remember meeting him for sure. Was at a BDP show. He just walked right up on me. So shout out to Schoolie D, who made what many on the West Coast say was the most influential song for them, the gangster rap song PSK, which people are saying is the first gangster rap song that inspired the whole West Coast. So, there's only in my opinion, there's only 10, 12 songs that actually, well, I would say, changed the rap game from the direction it was going and actually changed the game. There's only 10 or 12. There's only 10 or 12 artists who can say they had a song like that, and Schoolie D is one of them. Benz Bamillion, thank you so much for your contribution. I really appreciate it. Question, do you use the S950 along with the SP? No, I just use the SP1200 by itself. I was supposed to learn the MPC and the S950 from DJ Premier back in 92 when they were working on the Return of the Boom Bap album. Premier was like, "Yo, I need to show you how to work the MPC." And I was like, that would be really dope. But somehow it never worked out. That would have been dope to learn that. So to answer your question, no, I do not use the S950 along with the SP. I just use the SP by itself. I do believe Pete Rock uses the S950 along with the S. Well, he did use the S950 along with the SP. Tone, yo, Kenny, what was it like? Oh, this was more. Yo, Kenny, what was it like when Chris first left home? That's a very deep story. I have to plug the book. My brother's name is Kenny. If you don't have the book, get the book. The whole story is in here. I go into great detail about what it was like when Chris first left home. And really the answer to that question is which time. When he first left home, I don't even want to spoil it for the people who haven't read the book yet, but it was crazy. Crazy. The reason why he left home and how the whole thing went down. Benny Doyle, Kenny, shout out from Toronto. I love Tuesday these days. Thank you so much from Toronto. Once again, I need to get back out there. I really need to get out to Toronto. Is a dope city, but I need to get out there in the summertime. E-Money, Eric Jamal from Coast Contra is nice. I don't know who that is, but shout out to him. MMA Crossfire, what's up? I think the new artists today should check out Kenny's live to see the impact when artists dare to be great and different. You get generations of memories and generational material. Oh, thank you for the compliment. Yeah, I mean, I think more artists should just talk about their experiences. You got to understand that most of hip hop has not been documented. Hold on. If you think about it, these days, between social media, everybody has a phone, TMZ and stuff like that, I would say 85, 90% of the things that go on in hip hop and out in entertainment is out in the public. We get to hear about it and see video and pictures between people taking pictures and artists talking about it on Instagram and stuff. We know about 85, 90% of the things that's going on. I would say in the 90s, when it was just beepers and once in a while somebody would have a camera, but not really. Most people didn't have camcorders. There was like 3 hip hop photographers who took all the pictures. I would say in the 90s, I would say 40% of what happened in the 90s is documented. Even in BDP, I would say what's out there in the public sphere to me is probably like 30, 40% of all the stuff that I saw. That's why I started the channel, so I can get more stuff out there for those of you that like information like I do. In the 80s, I would probably say 20% of the things that happened in the 80s is out. Like 20%. Between pictures, videos, maybe less than 20% of the information is out. And I say the 70s, forget about it. Probably like 2% of the things that Flash and Herc and Kaz and them were doing. I say all that to say, I think more people should document more stories to get it out there. Because, you know, when people are gone, they're gone and all of their stories are gone. And as you can see, even when an artist like Tupac Shakur, look how much information is still coming out about that guy that's never been documented, that people are just talking about their experiences with him. And as a Tupac fan, you know, people love that kind of stuff. So I say, I wish more artists would tell more stuff, you know, of what they remember and try to be factual and just talk about it, because a lot of the stuff that happened in the 80s and 90s, y'all, if you weren't actually there, you missed it. Like the PM Dawn incident with BDP, I did a whole breakdown on this channel last year. You guys should check it out. For those of you that didn't check it out, if you weren't in that building, and there was like 1,000 people there, but if you weren't in that building for that event, you missed it. And all you get was bits and pieces of people's stories, and most of it was lies and untruths. That's why I decided to tell what really happened. But even that, using that as an example, most of the stuff that happened, even in a big event like that, never gets talked about. Imagine all the things that happened that's dope stories and dope memories that never got talked about. So you're right, Crossfire. I wish more artists, young and old, would just talk to the people. And not about how much money you got or I just bought a new Bentley, but real hip hop stuff that people can use for their spirit, man. Let me scroll down a little bit because I just been running my mouth. Hybrid Cypher. It's like when you think you've heard of every song an artist has released, but he's released 20 songs and there are 200 out there. That's like we see a fraction of everything. Exactly. Um, like an artist like Prince. They say Prince got thousands of songs that we haven't heard. Thousands. And I'm a huge Prince fan. I think I know Prince. And obviously I don't even know Prince. I mean, know his music. DJ Rob Ski, when was the first time you met or ran across Diamond D? Any good stories? I can't remember the first time I ran across Diamond D, but I've seen Diamond D so many times. I was in the studio. He did a track for KRS-One. I think it was on the KRS-One album in 1995. I was in the studio when they recorded that song. We did a show at SOB's like right after that, and Diamond D came on stage and rhymed. And I was cutting up a beat, and Diamond D was rhyming, and the record actually skipped and kind of, I keep it real, y'all. It kind of skipped a little bit and threw him off a little bit, but he caught up with it. And after the show, I apologized to him. I was like, I'm sorry, what happened to turntables, and it skipped. And he was like, man, no problem. Like, it is what it is. He was super cool. I've seen Diamond D quite often after that. And he is dope on the 45s. First of all, his 45 collection is ridiculous. And he be cutting and scratching. He is really dope on the 45s. If you ever see Diamond D doing a 45 party, make sure you check that out because he is really, really dope. I've never really got to chill with Diamond D, but the times that I saw him, he was super cool. Shout out to the whole DITC. Shout out to my man, Lord Finesse. Big L, rest in peace. Showbiz and AG. Shout out to them. The whole DITC. Buck Wild. Kid Capri. Kid Capri is family. Shout out to the whole crew. MK Ultra. We need another Stop the Violence record. That would be dope. Freezy Waves, did the New York 77 blackout really influence access to equipment for producers or not that much? Well, I was a young child, so and once again, I go into great detail about that blackout in the book. That blackout in my neighborhood really impacted me as a young kid, me and my brother, but we weren't outside like that. We were kids. But I've heard Grandmaster Caz talk about how much equipment, because you got to understand, the whole New York City got looted, especially in the hood. I was in Brooklyn at the time. Brooklyn looked like a war zone. Like if you ever see pictures of a war after like a bombing, that's how Brooklyn looked in Flatbush, in the Flatbush area where we lived. And every store, every record store, every store that sold like musical equipment was all just looted. And after that, after days and weeks after the blackout of 77, you could buy anything for cheap. TVs, bikes, clothes, stereos for like $20. So I've seen Grandmaster Caz. Actually, I've spoken to Grandmaster Caz about this summer. Oddly enough, we were talking about hip hop, and he was saying to me that when the blackout happened, he was outside battling some kid in the street. And he said the DJ was cutting up records and the power went out and the record went and it just stopped. And he said he was outside battling, which is crazy. In 77, Caz was outside battling. And he told me this just this summer that just passed. And I've seen him mention how they got a lot of equipment after that. So I can't comment on that because I was a kid, but Caz said it's true. And if Caz says it's true, it's true. I just got a message saying ads will start in 25 seconds. I see some people get ads and some people don't. So I'm just gonna talk through the ads. Supreme Divine, Sex and Violence is a classic. Are you kidding me or what, Jive Records? Thank you so much. I did a whole sex and violence breakdown on this channel. you guys should check it out. I go into much detail as I can remember about the making of that album. DS, hello. It says Time Dog stories. I guess you mean Tim Dog. Not really. I used to see Tim Dog from time to time. He was around Ultra, and I used to see Tim Dog from time to time. I don't even think we ever did a show with Tim Dog, but I used to see him in the club, and just, he was always super cool. Rest in peace to Tim Dog. I never got to chill with Tim Dog, but I used to see him a lot. FU2, AG from DITC is very underrated. He's still dope. Yes, he is. He's dope, and he's a mad cool brother. Super cool guy. All Day TV. Peace, bro. Were you at the KRS-One Channel Live and Mad Lion show in Cincinnati back in 98? I'm pretty sure if there was a BDP show in 98, I was the DJ. And we did a bunch of shows with KRS-One Channel Live and Mad Lion. So the answer to that question, I would have to say, yeah, probably. Hybrid Cypher. I heard Showbiz was going to be an Ultramagnetic. Wow, I never heard that. That would have been crazy. Anthony August. Big up, Kenny. What about Third Base? You got any MC Search or Pete Nice stories? Shout out to Third Base. I have a whole MC Search story in this book. When I first saw MC Search, I first saw him in person and first met him. It's a funny ass story. You got to get the book, y'all. Sorry to plug the book, but a lot of questions that people answer, I go into great detail in the book. Speaking of Pete Nice, I spoke to Pete Nice for like an hour a few months ago. We had a book signing, and he has a book out with Paradise of X-Clan. They have a book of flyers, all old school flyers, which is dope. I have the book here, actually. I would have pulled it out if I known this question was going to come up. And we just talked about hip hop, and he used to play ball. Pete Nice was actually a very, very good basketball player in the New York City area. And he played in the AAU tournaments at the same time as I did. So we had a lot of mutual friends that played ball. Me and him talked for like a good hour. We only did one show with Third Base, though, surprisingly enough, in upstate New York. But Pete Nice is super cool. MC Search is super cool. So shout out to Third Base. FU2, if you're watching, you have to get the book. Thank you so much. Yes, the book answers so many questions, y'all. Cody 8077, have you been in other rappers' videos? I am in the Biz Marquee Just a Friend video. If you guys go and check that video out, I am sitting on the bench with Biz and his author. Me and Biz used to hang out back in those days, in late 80s, early 90s. We used to hang out for days at a time, me and him. I got so many Biz stories. That's the last time I saw my boy Biz, and we took that picture. But yeah, I was in the Just a Friend video. I was in Miss Melody's video. Is she considered other rappers? I was in a Miss Melody video. I think her only video, live on stage. I'm in a few Heather B videos. I don't know if Heather B really counts as other rappers. I think that's it. I was at the Mad Lion video shoot for Take It Easy, but I didn't get in the camera. I was sitting there talking to Willie D of BDP. Rest in peace to my boy Will. He sat there on the sidelines and talked the whole time of the video. I'm trying to remember who else's video shoot I was at. I was at the Down with the Kings Run DMC video shoot, but I didn't get in, or they cut me out. I think that's it off the top of my head. Good question. Garganflut Gospin Fields. Welcome back. I love that name. I always butcher it, but I love it. Party Artie. I don't know what that means, but hybrid cipher, that's crazy. Zartan 215, peace, Mr. Parker. What one hip hop album you can't live without? I gotta go two. um, I'm a huge, I mention this on this channel all the time. I'm a huge Native Tongue fan. Um, I'm gonna take BDP out of this equation. I'm a huge Native Tongue fan, and so 3 Feet High and Low End Theory are just part of my DNA, I think. And also The Chronic. You said one, I say three. I had to go three because those are three, and I'll just rotate those three. Mark, KRS has an album with Showbiz. Yes, he does. Super BLK1, BDP for life. K3 Play, peace KP. When is the audiobook coming? I'm still working on it, bro. It's very tedious, man. Extreme. I was just working on this morning, the editing of it. Very tedious. It should be done soon. That's what's really keeping me from doing more stuff on this channel is because I'm in the studio a lot recording the audio book. It's coming out dope, y'all, but it takes a lot of time. FU2, Kaz is the God MC for real. Kaz is the most influential rapper to never have a big hit record in rap history, in my opinion. Not counting Rapper's Delight, which was stolen from him, but those Cold Crush tapes influenced all of the early rappers of the 80s. He's right up there. Like when you talk about the rappers from that era, everybody always talk about Melly Mel, who was dope. And my favorite MC out of the Furious Five was Cowboy, rest in peace. But they talk about them. They talk about Kumo D. Grandmaster Caz is right there. I believe that he's the only one out of that group of artists, that first foundation of artists that never had the one big song. And I think that's why the Cold Crush doesn't get mentioned as much as the other groups, but they really should. They really, really should. They just never had the one. The biggest record I think they had was I'm Fresh, I'm Fly, I'm Wild. That was like a New York City big record, I think, but they never had the message or like rocking it, or like, one of those records that Curtis Blow the Breaks, like one of those records that just did it. That's my opinion anyway. But shout out to Grandmaster Caz, and he is a fantastic human being. If you ever get a chance to meet him, just a great man. E-Money, can't see the picture. The light is shining on it. I know the way the lighting is, the way the light shines, you can't really see it. I don't want to turn the camera, but there's a picture of me and Biz there. I posted in one of my videos that I talked about it. I might even make that my next thumbnail for my next live so everybody can see it. Rosman, Party Artie is a Bronx rapper from Ghetto Dwellers. Oh, okay. Shout out to him. Bar Heavy J, you ever run down a bootlegger? Nah, I never did run down a bootlegger. I don't even recall ever really seeing my stuff bootlegged that much. Stuff that I produced. BDP stuff. The bootlegging became really, really heavy. Well, it was the bootleg tapes was heavy in like the beginning of the late 80s, early 90s in New York. And a lot of people bought the tapes thinking, in 86, I bought Janet Jackson In Control from a dude on the street. Sold it to me. He had a bunch of tapes, and he had the cover, the cassette, the plastic, everything. And it was Janet Jackson, In Control, for like $5. And I was like, yo, I'll take one of those. Got home and there was only 5 songs on there. That's a bootleg I should have ran down on. I say all that to say the bootleg in New York was real heavy in like late 80s, early 90s, and then it moved to the mixtape era. And then it moved to like the vinyl bootlegs, but I never ran down on a bootlegger. Me, no. I've actually bought a lot of bootleg stuff, to be honest. Richard Lovelace, much love. Laugh out loud. Still got those cheeses? Heather B wants to know. Heather didn't want the cheeses. I still got the cheeses, y'all. Heather didn't want the cheeses. Hybrid Cypher. I love Low End Theory, Balloon Mind State, and Busters the Coming were important albums to me. Absolutely. Balloon Mind State was incredible. There's actually a lyric on that album that I didn't understand, and I went and actually asked Pasta Noose of De La Soul, what did he mean in this rhyme? And he explained a whole bar to me, which is crazy. That's how much I love De La Soul, that I had to actually go to my man Pas and get some clarification on a line. I'm not going to say what the line was, but I needed to know. Crazy. Hybrid Cypher. Kaz, a legend. Yes, he is. Canera, 3 Feet High is one of those game-changing albums. Help to move the sound of hip-hop forward. Absolutely. It's a game-changing album. There's only like 10 of them, y'all. 12 maybe. I mean, I might list them if y'all want, in my opinion, but there's only a handful of songs and albums that's, when I say that, started like a whole new genre almost. And 3 Feet High and Rising is one of them. That's one of the greatest albums ever made, man. FE2, word, those Cold Crush tapes are crazy. I'm 44, but I heard a lot of those tapes, if not all. Kaz was incredible. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. And I asked Kaz, did he write all his rhymes? And he said, yes, he wrote all the rhymes. This thing just shot up. I say that every week. I saw somebody mention Special K. Oh, yes, that's the Diaper one. Special K from the Treasure Street is slept on. Dude was super dope. Yes, he was. And I do believe that Special K is Tila Rock's brother. And he wrote It's Yours. Commentating, illustrating. I do believe Tila Rock told me this. I do believe he says Special K is his brother, not LA Sunshine. I do believe he says Special K is his brother, and he wrote It's Yours. Huge record. Controversial. Kaz and KRS, both my influences. Mine too. Gregory Netus. Yo, Kenny, any Lock stories? They are one of the best groups ever. Word up, son. New York talk. Not really. I never met Jadakiss or Styles P. I met Sheik Luch in like 2010. Was the first time I met Sheik Luch. He was super cool. I met him at the Tony Touch. Shout out to Tony Toka. He used to have his party every week in New York on a Tuesday. And I DJ'd one of his parties. The first time I DJ'd there, and Sheik Luch was there. And I just kicked it with him for a second. Actually, I took a couple pictures, actually. He was mad cool, but I never got to chill with the Locks, but they are a super dope group. The Colonel James, Kenny, I was so fortunate to have been in the place that night for the iconic Third Base BDP show, October 92, I believe. Still have the flyers from it. Gave one to Pete, might be in his book. Ah, okay. Yeah, that show was dope. Crossfire, Kenny, what do you think of Terminator X, his work, and on how he was branded during the heyday of PE? Well, there's some controversy with Terminator X, right? Terminator X, the person, is mad cool. And I think some of the greatest scratching in the history of hip hop was on Rebel Without a Pause. However, apparently a guy named Johnny Juice, I think his name is DJ Johnny Juice, is actually the one that did the scratches, right? And not Terminator X. I do believe. I don't want to start any controversy. I mean, I'm pretty. Is that well known to most people out there that Terminator X did not do a lot of the scratches on that? It Takes a Nation of Millions. So when you say his work, I'm not really sure what his work is and which one is the guy Johnny Juice. But Terminator X, the person, is a dope guy. I'm not trying to disrespect his legacy at all. I'm just saying I'm keeping it real. I mean, there's a guy out there who says he did the scratches. So I don't know. But shout out to Terminator X. Maybe maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my information is wrong. Alpha Dog, no Heather B this week. Thank God, no Heather B this week. Nah, that's my girl. We had a great time, but she got on my nerves, as she always does. That what y'all saw last week between me and Heather B is every time I've ever seen her in the past 30 years. That's how it goes. Let me scroll down. Nintendo Vaults. Salute Kenny Parker. Salute. Can you give us any background information about Jewel T of the Ride the Crossfade 12-inch on B-Boy Records fame? Was he BDP affiliated? I don't think he was BDP affiliated. I'm not even familiar with Jewel T. The B-Boy Records days was before my time in Boogie Down Productions. I was around my brother KRS and around the group, but I was not in the group. I didn't join the group until 89. So that's about 3 years, 2 years after the B-Boy Records time. But I've never heard of a Jewel T being down with BDP. So I'm going to say he was just an artist signed to B-Boy Records. Wait, Pull Champ, ever met MF Doom? I believe I met Zeph Love X, those guys back in the day. I never met him as MF Doom. Do believe he was Zeph Love X. From the group, I think it was Zeph Love X, right? No, was it? Maybe it wasn't Zeph Love X. What was his name in the group, y'all, before in Peach Fuzz? What was his name in the group before he was MF Doom? I met them, but I never met MF Doom as MF Doom. Cold Crush at the Dixie off the Wild Style soundtrack is a classic. The whole soundtrack is classic. KB Play. Yes, I want to shout out my man Jetta, who's on the check-in. He loves Wild Style and Grandmaster Caz and the Cold Crush. John Waters. Did Big Bang Hank ever give Caz any change for what he stole? I don't know the answer to that question, but I don't know if there's any money that he could have given Caz to make up for what he did. That was supposed to be Caz's spot in the biggest 12. Rapper's Delight is the biggest selling 12-inch single of all time. 6 million copies sold worldwide of all time. And Caz was supposed to be on that song. I don't think there's any amount of money that could fix that. No disrespect to Big Bang Hank, but that was, if you know the whole story, I don't want to go too deep into the story here, y'all, but if y'all know the whole story about Big Bang Hank and Grandmaster Caz and the rhymes on Sugar Hill Gang, I think it's a terrible injustice. Terrible. And I don't think there's any money that he could even pay him. Gregory Netters, yo, Kenny, do you remember Divine Sounds? What people do for money They from Brooklyn. That video and storytelling is one of the best hip hop songs ever. Of course, I remember Divine Sounds. They made Bed-Stuy what? Bed-Stuy what? That same Divine Sounds. I do believe that was their first single, right? Word, word, word. I didn't know there was a video for What People Do for Money. Wow. Ooh. FU2, 89 to 92, the bootleg tapes was everywhere in Harlem. Word. And a lot of people didn't even know they were bootlegs, yo. Gray Beard, once you made some money, what was the first car purchase? I have never driven a day in my life, y'all. I have no license. I have never driven a car, believe it or not. So the answer to that question is 0. DJ KD Hover 23. Who is your favorite mixtape DJ, Kenny? Mine is DJ Ron G. Shout out to Ron G, another super cool brother. That's my dude. The answer to that question is Kid Capri. I think Kid Capri is the best mixtape and party DJ I've ever seen with my 2 eyes. A Philly Couture Try. Wow. Thank you so much. Wow. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. I got to see KRS-One premiere that song in Union Square for the very first time, and I lost my mind. Literally lost my mind. Wow, that's an incredibly gracious contribution to the channel. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. A Philly Couture. It cuts off the end here. I can't even see it. Thank you so much. Wow. Let me move down. FE2, De La Music is finally streaming. Yeah, there was a lot of contract disputes, I think, with Tommy Boy. Bootleggers blew up all the regions. For real, yeah. I mean, I can only speak for the New York area, but yeah, they really hurt a lot of artists, man. They really, that bootlegging game hurt a lot of artists' record sales, man. Thomas O'Kane, for sure, list them. You mean my game-changing songs? All right, I'm going to do this list. This is my opinion, the songs that changed hip-hop. There's only a few of them. Of course, Rapper's Delight is the song that kicked off the whole genre in music business as far as tangible records you can buy, and it was a worldwide phenomenon. The next song is The Message by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, which I think is probably the single greatest rap song of all time. And it started the conscious move. Well, it didn't start the conscious movement. It set the blueprint for the conscious movement. It was the first record talking about what's actually going on in the hood, and it's planted the seed for later on. I'm gonna get to that in a second. So that's 2. Run DMC. There's really 2. They really got 2, because obviously Sucker MCs was the gap. First of all, Run DMC was the gap between hip hop was considered a fad in 1983 that would soon be over, and the music was heading in a direction where it was possibly about to be over. And Run DMC came out and changed the game. And Sucker MCs, the sound of the stripped down to just the drums, was probably the first real boom bap song. And Run's flow, and you also understand they were scratching zigga zigga zigga. I'm DMC in the place to be. I do believe that's the first scratching on a rap record. I mean, Grandmaster Flash on the Wheels of Steel was like a really like a mixtape put on vinyl. But with a rapper rapping under and scratching, I think Sucker MCs might have been the first. I'm gonna go Sucker MCs is the third. Rock Box was the first record to combine rap and rock. But even though I don't know if that was a really big, it was a game changer. But I'm gonna put an asterisk next to that one. That was like an honorable mention. But I'm gonna go Sucker MCs as the third real change the game record. Fourth, I'm gonna go PSK, because every single gangster rapper from Ice-T on says that's the record that influenced them. That's four. And then I'm going to go with the emergence of Rakim. And his flow and wordplay changed the direction of rap. And I'm going to go with Check Out My Melody. Most people would go with Eric B. for President, but I think Check Out My Melody is the song that really showed Rakim's lyrical prowess. And that's the song that everyone copied. Check Out My Melody. It's just, I think, 6 minutes of just brilliance. That's five. And that, first of all, that whole album, Paid in Full, is a game-changing album. But I'm gonna pick that song off of that album. Seven, or am I six? Six or seven, I lost my count. But six is the Criminal Minded album, which brought multiple styles to the game. KRS brought multiple styles, including the offbeat rhyme style on Word from our sponsor, and the reggae rap influenced style. Even though some people did it before, it didn't stick. The KRS-One's version was the one that stuck. And the song, which I'm going to put as the seventh, is The Bridge Is Over, which was not only the first battle record that changed everything, changed the battling worldwide from battling in a cipher to making a record. That the what they call it? I want to call it reverberations. The impact of that song is still being felt today in every single beef and battle. That was the original song that changed the game. And the reggae hip hop track mixed with it and KRS-One's flow, that song is six. I'm going to go with LL Cool J, I Need Love. Is that eight? I lost my count. I Need Love is the first real rapper emotional singing song that broke the mold. Now, there's some other guys who had some songs, like Houdini had One Love, You're Lucky Just to Find Just One Love. And I believe somebody else off the top of my head had a song talking to girls. But I Need Love by LL Cool J. After that song, every album after that had some emotional love song. Even up to today, you can see somebody like Drake and a lot of songs that he made, you could date it all the way back to 1987 LL, I Need Love. That's 7 or 8. I lost my count. Then you have the Conscious Movement. Comes in 88. Oh, ad's about to come. Conscious Movement comes in 88. And two albums dropped at roughly the same time. BDP came out a month before Public Enemy. But I'm going to say Public Enemy was the group that really took consciousness to the maximum and opened up that whole lane from that point on. They took what Melly Mel and Grandmaster Flash did with The Message, and they made a whole album, and they took it even further. So if I can pick one, so I'd have to pick one song from PE See, there's not really one song on that Takes a Nation of Millions that really is the conscious record. So that's a difficult one for me because it'd have to be Public Enemy. Like Fight the Power is probably their signature song. Fight the Power is probably their signature song, but that's on the second album, third album. So I would have to say, I'm going to pick Rebel Without a Pause because it was on It Takes a Nation of Millions. I'm going to pick that at 9 as a game changer. There was 3 game changers that happened that year. Consciousness, the real gangster rap movement. And I say that P.S. King, that song influenced a lot of rappers, but the gangster rap movement as we know it today was really NWA. After NWA, everybody had a gun in their waist on record. And I'm going to say the song off of that album is Fuck the Police. I'm going to say that song off that album is probably the most radical and important song. I'm going to put that at 9. I don't know if I'm at 9 or 10 important songs. And then finally, I'm going to throw in for the 80s, De La Soul, 3 Feet High and Rising is another absolute game-changing album between production, styles, and the introduction of the native tongue, which you can see their styles reverberate to Mos Def, Talib, Common. Like the De La sound just went to numerous artists. So if I had to pick one song off of that album, I was thinking about this the other day. If I had to pick one off of that album to be the game-changing song, it'd either be between Me, Myself, and I or Buddy. And I'm going to roll with Me, Myself, and I because that was the video that came on MTV. And that's when we really got our first real, because they had Potholes in My Lawn, but that didn't really, the imagery wasn't there yet. 3 Feet High and Rising, Me, Myself, and I, that was the song that really showed us De La Soul, and it also introduced us to Q-Tip when he said black is black. And so we got Tribe and De La on one song, first single off that album. And I'm going to say that's my 10. That's either, I don't know if I'm a 10 or 11. To me, every rap song and every style that you can possibly think of comes from one of these 10 songs. Just about, with the exception of trap music. I don't know what is the trap music song, because that is a genre of music that was game-changing for this generation in the I don't know, late 2000s or what 2000s. Whatever the trap music, whatever kicked that off, I don't know if it was like a Bone Thugs and Harmony and it kept moving on and on. I don't know how that happened, but everything else you could possibly think of in rap, in my opinion, just about came from those 10 songs. That is the blueprint of hip hop to me. And there's not that many artists that have a game changer like that. I think The Chronic was the album that opened up radio. The Chronic was the album, because before The Chronic, rap wasn't on the radio. If you guys can remember rap in 90, 91 and beyond, you get like one song, 2 songs played in the daytime and everything else was on a mix show. But The Chronic, Dre and Snoop figured out how to take smooth R&B tracks and put gangster stuff on top of it, but the radio would play it because of the music. And I think that was a game-changing moment. I would throw a song off The Chronic, maybe G Thing. I would throw that in there at like 11. I don't know what my count is, 11 or 12. I would throw something off of there in there. That's it. Anything you can think of comes from those records, Game Changers. This is my opinion. I'll argue with anybody. And you have some great albums, to me, incredible albums, but they were incredible for that artist in particular. I don't think it made like legions of followers. Like you look at like Slick Rick, The Great Adventures of Slick Rick, one of the greatest albums ever made, just wall to wall, back to back classics. But I do believe that that album was great for Slick Rick. You did not have a bunch of Slick Ricks after that album. You just had Slick Rick was the only one that can do that style. But after a Rakim, a KRS, PE, The Message, De La, after that, you can see the seismic shift in hip hop after these people made certain songs. So that's my list, y'all. That was very long, and we're over an hour now. But yeah, that's my list, y'all. I would love to Crossfire. Queen Latifah's Ladies First changed the game for females. A female game changer. Well, that's hard to say because first of all, I love that album. But did Latifah do anything on that album that wasn't already done, or was it just Latifah's flair? Because you gotta look at game changing for females. I mean, you could say Roxanne Shante answered UTFO and she was big. You could say that was a possibly. I'd have to think about a woman, somebody Divine Existence, where Shante was a big female game changer. I would say I would go. If I'm going to add female to that, that's a good point. I would add Shantae's first song to that mix. Divine Existence. Slick Rick highly influenced Snoop, though. Snoop says that Slick Rick was an influence, but Snoop doesn't sound like Slick Rick. If Snoop didn't tell you that Slick Rick influenced him, you would not know that. But the other songs that I'm talking about, you can hear the influence instantaneously. Green Line Entertainment, Dana Dane. You know, Dana Dane and Slick Rick were in a crew together that came up. So I don't know if they both borrowed off each other's styles. They both came up together. I don't know if they were like Dana Dane didn't know Slick Rick and he heard Slick Rick and started doing it. And that would be one person. I'm talking about seismic shift in the game. Crossfire, house music grabbed Jungle Brothers and never let go. The house music was house music before the Jungle Brothers. I mean, the song Girl I House You was really a Todd. Shout out to Todd Terry who did the production on that. That was really a Todd Terry already had that. Can you feel it? He already had that style. He really just remixed it and put the Jungle Brothers on it. And then it was hip house for a second, but none of those other hip house records really stuck. I'm gonna say that Our House You was really what was I gonna say? I would say that was really just for the Jungle Brothers. Some people. Let me scroll back because I want to hear what some people are saying. E-Money, can BDP MC Shan really be called the battle because MC Shan only put out the bridge and yeah, not much after that. No, he responded to the South Bronx with Kill That Noise. It was Kill That Noise. It was the response to South Bronx, but he didn't really, he just said some rhymes, and then he's at the end of the record, he said, "All right, KRS-One and Scott LaRock, ha ha ha," and he was laughing. The Bridge Is Over is the record that is the blueprint. Garden Flood, Me, Myself, and I, yeah. This Die for One crew, De La Soul had hits too, yo. Say No Go was huge. Say No Go was huge, but we already was ready for De La when by the time Say No Go came out and they had all, we was ready. When Me, Myself, and I dropped, everybody was like, what is this? Look at their hair, look at their clothes, their way of talking. What are they talking about? That was the song. By the time Say No Go came, you was kind of ready for De La. You was exposed to them. Tone, I hated NWA too. To me, that changed hip hop to me for the worst. Whether it changed it for the worst or best, that's being debated right now. It still changed the game. It really did. Jay Murphy, I Know was my joint off the De La album. That's probably my favorite song on that album. Plug Tuning was dope. Corey Watson, Say No Go was not a huge hit. LLL. Say No Go was a big record. It wasn't as big as Me, Myself, and I, and it wasn't as big as Buddy. It was sandwiched in between those two. I wouldn't say it was a huge hit, but it was played a lot. MK Ultra, was Criminal Minded the first hip hop album cover to have guns on it? Yes. That album was the first for a whole bunch of things. That's why I said it's one of those game-changing moments. Not because KRS-One is my brother, just as speaking of hip hop as a fan, that's one of the albums that had the amount of styles that KRS-One had on that one album was incredible. That people copied for decades. I feel Couture, Tekmagoo. I don't want to butcher your name. Sorry. Prince Paul is a genius. Yes, shout out to Prince Paul. Robbie the Danger, Buddy, that heartbeat loop. What? Yo, Buddy, I was debating this in my mind just the other day. It's funny we bring this up. Buddy might have been the biggest hit on that album. Me, Myself, and I was huge too, though. Buddy might have been the biggest hit on that album. And I would say that could be the definitive song, but Me, Myself, and I was still like nothing we had ever seen before. By the time Buddy came out, we had seen De La. That was their third single. And the reason why I say Me, Myself, and I is not only because of how special that song was, but because Q-Tip is on that song. That's the first time we saw a giant in the making. So stop sleeping on my boys. 6 in the Morning and Cop Killer by Ice-T were both game changers. Yeah, but 6 in the Morning, if you look at Ice-T's interview, man, I love Ice-T as an artist and a person, but he always says that PSK was his inspiration for 6 in the Morning. Go back and check his interviews. He says after hearing PSK, he wrote 6 in the Morning. Real to Real. Did you ever miss an opportunity to work on an album that turned out to be a classic or at least a solid body of work? A bunch of them. I would really like to answer that question. Let me see if I can go back to that because I just want to see what you guys say about my list, and I'm gonna go back to that. Trap music is a variation of Mantronic's production style. It is. You could say it's slowed down Mantronics, but it's also that what they call mumble rap. When we say Future is the real innovator of mumble rap, there is somewhere out there, there's a trap music song that made trap music what it is today. Chris Morale, that is it. Bone Thugs left some big fingerprints on the game. They did, but not a lot of people could copy Bone Thugs. You had a couple people, D.O.D., Do You Want to Ride? And you had Hey, in the middle of the barn. Like you had a few that kind of see, I kind of feel like that slow beat and rhyming fast is kind of the birth, sort of like trap is like the beginnings, but trap is a little bit different because it's like slow. It's like a slow drums with a very fast hi-hat, and then stop and go rapping on it. It's hard to really just to say. I can't really put my finger on the beginning of trap music. Someone would have to school me on that. FB2 Ghetto Mafia from Decatur, Georgia was the first trap artist. But did they set the trend? I'm sure if I'm gonna take your word for it, they could have been the first, but did they set the trends? There's a moment, there's always a tipping point where something drops, and then after that moment, everything goes in that direction. Not everything, but a style goes in that direction. And for trap, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure if that's what it was. KB played trap music was influenced by Mantronics as far as beats goes. I mean, I can hear that. Divine Existence. Bone Thugs influenced people to rhyme double time over very slow tempo beats. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Bone Thugs could be the birth of trap, but it wasn't really trap yet. It was like that's what I'm saying. It's really hard to put. Bone Thugs was very influential, but I don't know. It might have been like a slow bomb. Like they dropped in 90, when they dropped, 93, 94. And it probably took like 10 years for everybody to really catch up. DJ Rob Ski, can you ever run across the cats from the group Crew? Yes. Super cool brothers. I used to see them in the tunnel all the time, Tunnel nightclub. Yeah, let me scroll down. Public Enemy, Bring the Noise. Chuck was rhyming double time. Remember that rhyme? Was he the first to do that? I'm not sure, because Big Daddy Kane used to do a lot of. This is Kane kind of. I'm not saying he bit off Kane, but I'm just saying. What is the song off of It Takes a Nation? Because I think the quintessential conscious record has to be Fight the Power. But the conscious movement was already in play by that time. That's why I'm not picking that song, in my opinion. Children's Story was a game changer. It's the yesterday of rap music. More rappers covered that song than any other. Corey Flood. I don't know how many people covered Children's Story. I'm not sure about that. Ian Brattle, Push It or Roxanne Roxanne. See, Salt and Pepper style, but Salt and Pepper, they say in their interviews that they were trying to be a female Run DMC. So everything they did was kind of trying to be like Run DMC. But Roxanne's Revenge, she answered UTFO. It wasn't a battle because they sent out their girl, but it was like 25, and that was just a hot mess. The responses, but that song. Because Shy Rock is the mother of female rappers, but she never had a song like that's the joint. Like for females to say, I'm here, it might be Roxanne Shante. I'm gonna might put Roxanne in my list. I think my list is like 12 or 13 strong. I might have to put Roxanne in my list, man. Let me scroll down a little bit. Divine is Nation of Millions as a whole was the game changer. You're right. That album as a whole was the game changer. But like we was talking about 12 songs, and I'm trying to pick a song off of there. That's why. You're right. That album should be listened to as one project. But it wasn't Night of the Living Bassheads. You're right. That's a whole album. That's a whole piece of work. It's disrespectful to pick a song off of there, but I gotta pick a song off of there for the sake of this argument. I gotta pick a song off of there. That's why I said Rebel Without a Pause, but it's not really that, because that song is not really conscious. That song is more like Chuck just letting people know like PE is in the building. Maybe I got a letter from the government the other day. That's a tough one. You're right. I might just have to say Takes a Nation of Millions as a whole. But I mean, yeah. Brand Nubian Sunshine, early conscious joint. Yeah, but that's way later. The conscious movement really was in effect in 88. By All Means Necessary by BDP and It Takes a Nation of Millions were the two albums that really started the movement, even though the message 6 years earlier is the blueprint. But then after that, there's a gap. There wasn't really, the movement didn't really start after the message. It's just the message came out. People were like, oh, that was incredible. Okay, let's get back to talking about partying and sneakers and chains. KRS and Chuck kind of went back and said, hold on, let's build a little more on this song. And that's when the movement started, in my opinion. Somebody just put, Welcome to the Terror Dome. That's later. DJ Mouse, Hammer Can't Touch This was a big game changer. Maybe in Europe. That's, to me, that's funny. Black Steel in the Hour of Chaos. It could be, we can't, I can't pick a song of Take a Nation. Supreme, you really, you can't really pick one song off of that album. That's the conscious record, because like I said, to me, the conscious PE record, the record is Fight the Power in 89, summer of 89. That's the song. But PE was double platinum by the time that came out. Don't Believe the Hype. Canera. Don't Believe the Hype. I forgot about that. Yo, it's so funny you bring that song up. In 88, I was still in school and I had some time off, and I went with my brother to a show in DC. And we rode to DC. They did the show. And on the way back, we were riding through Philly and we were listening to Power 99. Shout out to people in Philly, and whoever was doing the mix show threw on Don't Believe the Hype. And we were sitting in a van riding back, and we all heard it for the first time. And it was banging. I remember Chris, KRS, he's sitting in the van. He was going, yo, Chuck did it. Chuck did it. He just kept saying, yo, Chuck did it, like that. I remember that clearly. Don't Believe the Hype is the song off of It Takes a Nation of Millions. I'm going with Don't Believe the Hype. Canera, thank you so much. I'm going with that. We're at a minute. We're at an hour and 22, y'all. I'm going to get off shortly. We've been going really long, y'all, but that's the song. Supreme Divine, just like Heather B says, Suck MCs was the song that made me fall in love with hip hop. That song, that absolute game changer. El Sol, at Mark Burnett, yeah, you're right. 3-6 Mafia, Lord Infant started the style trap rappers use today. It was 3-6 Mafia? Possibly. I would like to get to the bottom of that, because for my list, for my list, I need a trap song, the trap song. Tone, those two albums set off conscious and rap. Yeah. I'm going to answer a few and I'm going to get off here. I love this topic, y'all. That's why I'm going a little April 7th. Oh, I was just here for the tuna and cranberries. That's hilarious. And I bought some more of that, by the way. Wu-Tang Clan Cream and Mobb Deep Shook Ones Part 2 is a game changer. Two of the best legendary rap songs videos ever. Word up, son. Two of the greatest songs ever, but they didn't change the game. Wu-Tang Clan album was absolutely incredible, 36 Chambers, but it was dope for Wu-Tang. Did we get like 15 Old Dirty Bastards and 18 Raekwons, and no, it was just their style. That's what I'm saying. That was dope. In my opinion, Wu-Tang's first album was dope for Wu-Tang. I don't think it was so much as a game changer for the industry as much as it was just a great body of work. Like Shook One's Part 2 is a great song, but did we get like 20 Mobb Deeps after that? It's rhyming like them? No, it was just dope for them. This is my opinion. JB Muse, Don't Believe the Hype was the dopest, but the album was most definitely worth the money. Yeah, the whole album was. That could be the dopest hip hop album ever. But yeah, I'm going with Don't Believe the Hype as mine. Therefore, y'all remember Sir Abu Holy War? What, are you kidding me? One of my most favorite unsung songs of the 80s ever. Body that body, body that body. His style was really dope in 87. Holy War was crazy. I'm gonna answer a few more, then we're gonna get off. Y'all. I love this conversation. Thank you for listening. The influential song of Takes a Nation is Bring the Noise. After that, a whole wall of noise, siren sounds went through hip hop, and outside of hip hop, the people followed the bold attitude. Yeah, it's also the Bomb Squad. It could be Bring the Noise. It could be Bring the Noise. That album is so tough. This Don't Believe the Hype is like one of my favorites. That's why Don't Believe the Hype. And it was just that record was ridiculous. But so was Rebel Without a Pause. Like, it could be Bring the Noise. It could be Bring the Noise. But I'm still roll with Don't Believe the Hype as edge over Bring the Noise. But yeah, Supreme Divine, check out my melody. It's truly an incredible song. Truly. You want to talk about poetry? Tef Vision. The first time we saw Q-Tip was in Delight. Groove was in the Heart. Nah, that was 1990. You know how many times we saw Q-Tip? By the time that came out, Groove was in the Heart. El Segundo was already out. Bonita Applebaum was already out. Buddy was already out. Me, Myself, and I was already out. Now that was Delight, Groove in the Heart. That Q-Tip was already well established by that point. J. Dale Reed, that flow on Teacher Teacher was crazy. Yes. KRS has so many different styles, man. That was his thing. Is his thing. That's all he ever talked about. What's your style? How many styles do you got? What's your style? That's all he ever talked about. Dartmouth, Raekwon the Chef invented drug mafioso rap. No. Well, Cool G Rap will say that in Road to the Riches, he created mafioso rap. I'm not sure. Mafioso rap, I mean, calling yourself a gangster, like the mob, because I would have to say, like, G Rap had a few songs like that. And G Rap is one of the most influential artists ever, too. A lot of people say that G Rap is their inspiration. I don't know if he has one, I don't think he has a specific game changing song, but he's a game changer. Him. DJ Mouse, can't front on Hammer, bro. How many MC Hammers came out after Hammer? I think there was one Hammer, and that was it. Tone, thank you, Kenny. Garganfluck, Left My Wallet in El Segundo was the first time I saw Q-Tip. That was their first video. But that was in 89, 90. He was in De La Soul, Black is Back. Matter of fact, he's all over that 3 Feet High and Rising album. He's really like Pluck 4. He's like the fourth member of De La. Go back and listen to 3 Feet High and Rising. Q-Tip was all over that album. All right, I'm going to get off of here. We had an hour and a half, y'all. I think the people that's still on here all of this time, I really appreciate you guys. We do this every Tuesday, 8 p.m. We just talk about hip hop. And we just have conversation. I really appreciate you guys. Supreme Divine. Trap music is pure ignorance. But still, it is a genre of rap that was extremely influential for today's music. It's not my style, but it is a style. Trap music, you have to say, is a style. Let me just read a couple more and I'm going to get out of here. April 7th, well, Black is Black, and the promo is where I first heard Q-Tip and the Jungle Brothers' first album, Shout Out Jungle. Yes, Black is Black, and the promo. Promo number 1 is ridiculous. And then In Time, my brother, In Time was on the B side of that. Same beat, different, just incredible. Q-Tip is actually incredible. He's one of top, my favorites ever. All right, I'm getting out of here, y'all. Engage VR YouTube channel. Kenny, salute and thank you. Thank you so much. Gregory, did you ever appear on your MTV Raps? Yes, with BDP. Jay Murphy, I could talk hip hop all day. Thank you for your time. Thank you, y'all. I'm about to get out of here. Only One touch KRS, maybe Most Def. King's Son was good too. Yes, he was. I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. King's Son. I'm just looking at the comments. King's Son, DITC was definitely game-changing. TITC was definitely a game-changing group. I don't think they were a game-changing group. I think they were just a dope, incredibly dope group. All right, y'all. I'm getting out of here. I'll catch you guys next week. Thank you so much for checking in. I'm just looking at the comments real quick, just trying to see anything. I know I missed a lot of stuff. Nature, thanks, DJ Kenny Parker. Always a good time. Yes, I'll catch you guys next week, God willing. Die for One crew. See you next week. Yes, El Soul Peace, JB Music. And we out. I'm going to get off. FU2 Town is hope the dope. That's funny. All right, y'all. We out of here. Peace and love, y'all.